Hello everyone, it's Douglas from Other Than Intended Purpose, Jack's behind the camera. And this video should have been made over a month ago, probably over 2 months ago. Time gets all wibbly wobbly after a while. Today I am looking at the Tempest Knives Pinion. And for anyone who is in the community, you probably know KC over at Knives Fast. He is Tempest Knives. He designs them and goes through an OEM company to have them made. And this is a very well made knife. Just for the visual aspects of it, it's kind of a modified sheep's foot. It's almost about halfway between a sheep's foot and a Warncliffe, the way that this comes down. You have a really large finger hole on there. Their only branding on this is he has the Tempest Knives Tornado on the blade here. It doesn't say it Tempest, it just has it. And on this side it does say the steel, which is 14C28N. For anyone who's not familiar with that, that is a very good, durable steel. It's fairly easy to sharpen. In the upper end of budget, lower end of medium rank blade steel. I have several knives with 14C. My brain doesn't work sometimes. 14C. I said that right. I have several knives with 14C, and I have never had a problem with it, as long as you don't start thinking that it's mithril and try and do stupid stuff with it. And I only say that because there's people out there that think, it's mithril, I can do stupid stuff with it. I have been using this knife in the cave at my desk. I've cut food with it. I have cut boxes open. I've cut paracord with it. It actually cuts paracord really well. Jack, can you get around the thing and just grab me some not obnoxious looking paracord out of that box? But I have only had to strop this. I have not had to put this on a steel or on a stone, because it holds 14C holds a pretty good edge.
The mini cord.
That's mini cord. I was going to cut big cord, but I guess I want to cut mini. This is an unopened mini cord too. Okay, for opening packages, it's like there's nothing there. This is pretty common. Wow, that really just like annihilated that. This is pretty common.
I don't think I noticed any resistance just looking.
No, you put it in there and it's like you're not even pulling on it. It's just. I can't use that anymore. Because I don't want to deal with fraying, there's a lighter. But this is every bit as... It's the same level of trying to cut as paracord, except there's only 3 strands in it instead of 7. But, I mean, I didn't even have to put pressure on that. Double it up. Need a little bit more off of it to double it up. There we go. Double it up. It's a reasonable task that you might be doing with your pocket knife, and I didn't have to saw. It didn't quite fit in the thing, and the pressure of putting it into the hole cut through it. But I have had a couple of months with this knife, and I'm going to say that there are a couple of things about it I'm not super fond of, and those things are my issues. It's not something wrong with the knife. It is designed the way I didn't want it. And KC, if you're KC, yeah, that's right. If you're seeing this, I am not insulting your knife. I'm saying that there are design features that don't meet my needs. If you've seen my channel before, if you've seen my videos before, you know that I have nerve damage in my arm. I had a parachute accident 30 years ago, and I messed things up. Because of that, this action shoots pain up my arm right here. And I'm not very good at it because of that. There we go. It does snap open nice though. Was that loud enough you could hear it over there?
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of suggestion and it goes right back down, and it snaps out really well. So what don't I prefer? What is not to my preference? I like flippers because this motion doesn't hurt. That motion does. I cannot turn my thumb to get it into the hole. A lot of people will be able to open it with their thumb. Mine does not do that. It's my thumb's fault though, not the knives. See, my other hand can do it. But so I like flippers, and that is my one and only real disagreement with this design. It has really, really nice. It feels smooth to the touch, but grippy micarta, so that when you are using it, and I have used it many, many times, and I never once felt like it was slipping out of my hand. I never felt like there was no control. Second, and this is purely my thought, not I'm right and you're wrong. I would have liked to have a little bit of jimping up here. It has a really nice point that you can put down and do utility type cuts. It's got a little bit of a belly swell on it and a really nice point. You could put that down and do utility cuts very nice, very accurately. I like a little jimping when I'm doing that so that my finger doesn't slide on the blade. It gives me a little more control. There are people out there that throw temper tantrums if they see a knife with jimping on it.
With the weight of the handle, how's it drop open?
If you just grab it by the fuller, it drops open like a buck knife. And I say a buck knife because when I was younger, the only knife the FFA kids were the only ones allowed to carry a knife at school. The only knife we were allowed to carry was a buck 110 Hunter. And I think I've shown my buck 110 Hunter a couple of times. It's not a safe queen. And we would carry them we had to have them in the belt pouch, and we would carry them in the belt pouch so that we would pick them up this way and snap it open and have it in our hand to cut. So that type of opening, I know there's a different way to describe it or a different name for it. That's my buck knife opening. And it does do that very well. And actually around here, that's the way I do it. But for what's in my pocket, I like a flipper. That's the only reason this has been a desk knife, not a carry knife. Back to the stats. Like I said, it has a finger hole and fuller. And that is the primary way to open it. The way I was doing it with my finger was setting my finger into the fuller and flicking it. Ow! Like that. That's from my beluga, not from this. So don't blame this knife for that. That was my dog's fault. He jumped in my lap while I was trying to teach myself how to use the beluga. I'm drifting a lot tonight, but that's okay. It's late, I'm tired, and we're having fun because there's a knife involved. Like I said, I already said it was a modified sheep's foot. The pocket clip on it is a wire clip. It is very strong. I mean, it's very strong. But the way it's made, it goes into the pocket fairly easy. This is my Kaiser roll, and I took my Kaisers out of it so that I could show you. It goes into the pocket, and it goes in deep. You have very little, with just the wire, there is very little show on that.
Hardly any at all.
So if you're wanting to carry something discreet, this wire is really, really good for that. It is very deep. It actually, take that up and use the bulb. so that they can see it better.
I'm gonna need to turn the screen around so I can see it.
No.
Just a tiny little.
There's nothing showing in there, and this is denim. Kaiser made these, but this is denim, so you can see when you pull it out, put it back in. There's the clip isn't bending at all. It's like I said, it's a very, very strong wire clip, but there's no resistance putting that in and out of your pocket. And because this is denim, it's a very good representation of a pocket.
When he said bulb, he's talking about an O bulb.
Yeah.
I love these things. They're great.
Yeah, I have one that does the colors, and the picture that I just put on Instagram with Choo Choo hunting the whale, the beluga. I had that on green down low to give it that glow. I thought it looked cool. Back to the knife. It has a 3.4 inch blade, and that is a very handsome looking blade. If you look at that, it's a very attractive, striking looking blade. I do like that design very much. It weighs 3.6 ounces. And when it comes to cutting, what is that? I can cut that.
What paper?
This is cardstock, so it actually resists a little bit more than some papers do. But yeah, there is no resistance on that. And like I said, I've been using this for a couple of months. The only thing that I have done to this blade since I got it is run it on my strop about twice a week. And that's one of the nice things about 14C is you can do that. It will it will hold its edge very well just with a strop. Here, pause. Okay, we switched camera views so smoothly you didn't even notice it.
Gotta love those smooth transitions, right?
Because I want to compare this in size to a couple of other knives that I know people have had in their hands. Not everybody has, but they're ones that are available to look at places. The only place this is available that I know of is through Tempest Knives, and that is tempestknives.com. And because of that, you can't just go down to a store and say, hey, do you have one of these? But if you are interested in this knife and you want to know more about it, I'm going to give you some things to compare it to. This is the Sencut Sasha, maybe. The way that Sencut writes the words on theirs is not very good. Now, if you look at that, the pivots line up really well. The blades are about almost identical.
I couldn't tell if it was Sasha or Sachet.
Something like that. The Tempest Knives does have a little bit more handle. And with my hands, that's about a handful. And I have big hands. I don't like little bitty knives, so even this one, which is a decent sized knife, my pinky's overtaking that a little. So even though this is a 3.5 inch, this is a 3.4 inch, but the Tempest has a little bit longer handle. A knife that I really like, oh no, it's the other one. Haha, I'm silly. A knife that I really like the grip on, even though it is a little bit smaller. This is the Kaiser PPY, which is not the naughtiest knife name around right now because there's another knife that's only about that big, and it is actually named the Little PP. I didn't name it. And then this is one that just came to me. This I won this in a. Does it say on there where I won it? Oh, this was a while back. I won a battle box. It was a guy that reviews the battle boxes, and he had the entire box, and he drew a name, and he drew my name, and I won it. And this was in it. This is the Civivi Brazen, and this is 14C Damascus. That needs more light on it. And you know what? Hold on. I got it covered. Right there.
That's too much light. It's just going
That's
white.
too much light? How's that?
Shine it there. There you go. There's a good pattern shot.
That is very, very pretty. And I don't usually say that about the steel on a knife. But that is very, very pretty. And if you compare that pivot to pivot with the pinion, they're almost identical. They are both 3.4 inches. And you come down here, pivot to pivot, and your handle scales are almost identical. So if you are trying to find something to compare these two size-wise, these three knives are the best examples I have to do that. Now, one thing I did not mention before is some people are really fond of lanyards. I'm not a lanyard guy. This Civivi has a lanyard hole built into it. This Sencut has backspacer pins, and they put a smaller spacer pin a little bit higher if you want to put a lanyard on it. The Pinion does not have a lanyard hole. It does have a really nice backspacer that keeps it. This is very rigid. It's got steel liners in it. It's very rigid. You're not squeezing this at all. And this clip, if you happen to be left-handed, is reversible. I don't happen to be left-handed, so I left it on this side. But that's my sort of usage, because like I said, it hasn't really gone outside of the cave too much. Opinion on the Pinion. When Casey made these and told us what the name was, I actually told him, because he was still looking for an OEM at the time, I told him he ought to go to O-Knife, because then it would be the Opinion. But he laughed but didn't do it. So, I know I'm not as slick with folding knives as some people are. I'm not going to take this one apart tonight because, well, the action on it is so smooth. It is clean inside. There's really just no need. And right now it is perfectly centered. The tension on it is perfect. There's no need to open it up and risk having it not be as perfect when I put it back together. I generally do a really good job doing that, but you know, everybody makes mistakes. Just look at our camera work. That is the Tempest Knives, and I'm going to put a link to Tempest Knives in the description. It's a Tempest Knives Pinion. Casey just started a pre-order on another knife, and
Oh man, Dad, you don't like the super smooth transitions?
oh, it's so great. I love it. He just started a pre-order on January 21st of the Microburst, and it's another design by him. It's an attractive knife from what I've seen. I haven't had one in hand. I cannot give an opinion on it, but I can give an opinion on it. But I have known Casey a while. He's a good guy. He designs knives the way he wants them to be when he carries them, and a lot of people are agreeing with him. My final thoughts on this: if you like finger flicking or thumb flicking with a fuller, or you like opening like a buck knife, woo, or you like dropping them on your Kaiser. This is a very well made, very well designed knife. The materials on it are good. And so I'm putting a link to Tempest Knives on the description. You ought to go check them out. Little side note, just because I was making a joke about it earlier. This denim roll is made by Kaiser, and it comes with a little leather patch on it that says Kaiser. And so I've been putting my Kaisers in it. And when I first got this, I had received as a gift 3 Kaisers. And then I won one. And then I won another one. This is supposed to hold 3 knives and a pin. And I got 5 knives in it. It's a Kaiser Roll Supreme now. It's like it's got turkey and bacon in there with some cheese and lettuce and... Okay, I just went off the rail with that one. Anyway.
Oh man, Dad, I just ate dinner. You're gonna make me hungry again.
So, Jack and me and Choo Choo all want you to be safe. Remember, do something kind for someone. DSKFS. It's a simple little thing, just a kind word, a helping hand, something that can make someone's day. Get out in the woods and enjoy yourself. Get out in nature. The best equipment in the world does absolutely nothing if you don't know how to use it. Hopefully the next video we bring up after this one will be an outdoor video involving some bigger knives that don't fold. Because that's my comfort zone. And it may very well involve pieces of dead trees. So, have a good night. Enjoy yourself. And give Casey a check out over on Tempest Knives. Good night.